Hi, this is a TIE Fighter, Imperial TIE Fighter from 1978. It's on a 21 back card, so I've got 3 of these now. This is the last one I've got, and it's the plain white TIE Fighter, die-cast metal, and it has Darth Vader as the pilot. And I had one of these when I was a kid. It was quite good fun to play with, and it's got plastic solar panels, die-cast metal body, and it's a white TIE Fighter, which is pretty much associated with vintage TIE Fighters, and it's in fairly good condition. It's got, on the name tag, it's got Imperial TIE Fighter. Earlier versions had just TIE Fighter on it, so I've got this on the Dutch card and on the Japanese card as well. So on the Japanese card it's got the name in Japanese writing, and on the Dutch one it's got just TIE Fighter. And this is a later version than the other 2 versions. This is 21 back, whereas the other 2 are just 12 backs. And I've made tons of videos about those, so you can watch them on YouTube. It's TIE Fighter Madness, more TIE Fighter Madness, and then TIE Fighter Pure. So it's a typical carded die-cast toy. It's released with the TIE Fighter, Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, X-Wing, and the Land Speeder. I've also got a video about the Land Speeder on YouTube as well, on what's it, die-cast special, and that's with a twin pod cloud car. Great card though, look at that. Okay, there's many versions of this toy. There's the British version, the Palitoy version, there's an Italian version which is pretty rare, and I don't know if there's a German version. Oh yeah, there's Canadian as well, plus the American. This is the American version, so it's probably the most common version. Great picture there of the TIE Fighter firing pink lasers. Well, in the film it fired green lasers. And you've got 2 pictures there showing you what you can do with the TIE Fighter. The wings can come off, and the little pilot at the back, you can pull it out, and the pilot is Darth Vader, not a TIE Fighter pilot. You could get an X-Wing as well, but this is much better than the X-Wing. It's a much better model. Nice blue background. The bubble looks pretty clear. And you've got 20th Century Fox Film Corporation 1977. This one must have come out in 78, 79, so this version at least. So it's getting on, it's a good 32 years old. And then you've got the Leia and Luke logo, which is typical on all the early release cards, both action figures and the die-cast toys. And then you've got Star Wars, double silver band going around, very nice. Okay, here's the 21 back. You can see it's different to the other 2 cards I've got. You've got all 21 figures displayed, so it's much later than the other 2. I've got the Japanese and the Dutch one. And you've got more die-cast ships on offer. You've got the Series 1 ships, X-Wing, Land Speeder, and those 2 TIEs, plus you've now got Series 2 die-cast spacecraft. You've got the Millennium Falcon, Imperial Cruiser, and the Y-Wing Fighter, plus the Imperial Blaster there, and Han Solo's blaster. These 3 ships here are just mock-ups, so the Millennium Falcon didn't come with red parts on it, and the Imperial Cruiser, that's just a drawing or painting there, and the Y-Wing Fighter's a mock-up as well. I've got a loose Y-Wing, I can show you that in a minute. And then you've got the 21 figures there. You've got Death Squad Commander, you've got the Jawa now, he's shown in a cloth cape. On the other versions he was shown with a plastic cape, which is a lot more valuable. So you've got the basic 12 figures there, and on this side you've got the additional 9 figures, including Boba Fett, Snaggletooth. I've got a video about Snaggletooth as well. I've just got a Canadian one on a 20 back card, so if you want to see that, check it out on YouTube. Here's a better look at the TIE Fighter itself. It's got 3 little red laser points painted on, clear plastic window screen with the typical TIE Fighter patterning on it, and a die-cast body, removable solar panels. They've yellowed a bit, the solar panels. I don't know if you can really see it too well, but they have yellowed a bit. And then you've got what it can do, nice picture there. So overall, nice card, and it's displayed on a nice stool there that I found in my apartment block. Someone just threw it out, brand new, so I picked it up and took it home into my flat. So I think it's quite 70s in its design itself, the stool, so it goes well with this TIE Fighter. So what you're saying, bin raiding, yes maybe, but needs must. Times are hard, as they say. And then we have it, Imperial TIE Fighter. So this version has Imperial on it. Stephen SANSWEET's got a new book about Star Wars collectibles, and he's got a good feature on TIE Fighter. He's got 5 pictures of them, and all different versions. Like he has the Japanese version, plus a Canadian version, and plus this came on the Empire Strikes Back card as well, which is probably even rarer than the Star Wars versions. So here's the book I was talking about, the SANSWEET book. It's called Star Wars 1000 Collectibles from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, and it's quite a good book. It's worth picking up. Has lots of interesting articles, all from Stephen SANSWEET's massive collection. Okay, these are pictures from the book. So you've got an early TIE Fighter there, then you've got an Imperial TIE Fighter, which is on the US card. That must be the same as the one I've got just now. Then you've got a Canadian version with just TIE Fighter on it in the name box. Then you've got the Japanese version, which I have as well, which you can see on more TIE Fighter Madness, or TIE Fighter Madness. And then you've got finally the Empire Strikes Back version, which has the name Imperial TIE Fighter. Only a single silver bar going around the picture. And then you've got TIE Fighter United States, Canada, Japan, Takara, and Empire Strikes Back version 1980. To non-collectors, these 5 toys look alike. In fact, the toys are exactly the same, but the cards they're attached to are different enough to make for a collectible variation. The first United States Star Wars card without the word Imperial in front of TIE Fighter was changed during production. It stayed that way, and it was re-released with a logo for the Empire Strikes Back because of its more limited run. English-French card for Canada never made it to a second version. The card for the Japan market has some English copy, but the majority of the copy is in Japanese. So you can just see it there, the Japanese writing on the card.